For the most part, a lot of this stuff I just kind of fell into, right, because that was my skill set, again, from being on the farm or working with my dad, you know what I mean? It was a fit for construction, I guess you could say. Yeah, we got a large family farm, outside Chicago, in Wilmington, Illinois. It's on my mom's side of the family, large family. Some of my earliest memories when I got old enough to finally where I could actually sit up on a tractor and steer it, they put me out in the field all day long. I couldn't have been more than 6, 7, maybe 8 years old. I remember my feet wouldn't even touch the pedals. It was a good thing. It was taught me, learn how to run heavy equipment, not to be afraid of tractors from early age. The first couple of times I plowed it, or did something, it didn't look very good. So after the first couple of times of doing that, my uncle would come out and say, hey, you got to look way in the distance. You see that tree way out there? He said, you got to aim for that tree, because if you're looking straight down, you're going to start getting this wavy stuff. I don't know, that even helped operating heavy equipment. Same thing's true, like, when you're running an excavator, digging a trench, you don't spin around and look right down at the tracks, you know what I mean? You're picking a point in the distance that you're digging to, and that's how you dig a straight trench. At an early age, that kind of stuff just became instinct when you start hopping inside of equipment. My dad, he worked at Ford's for 35 years, so I'd go out there. I spent many hours in the garage helping my dad repair lawnmowers, and then, my career when I joined the Marines, diesel mechanic school in the Marines is almost a year long. You spend some time in the shop, but a lot of it is, hey, let's grab this thing of tools and head out in the middle of nowhere, and this thing's broken, let's fix it. Not being afraid of machines, vehicles, cars, trucks, tractors, that kind of thing, that helps. I think for a lot of people that haven't been around it, that want to get in the operators union, sometimes it can be very intimidating, you know what I mean? Especially when the first time you sit in the seat of a crane that has a 400 foot of boom in it. It was just natural to me, it's like, the first time I was on a job and they're like, hey, hop in that backhoe and come take care of this. It was like, started it up, knew how to put it in gear and go. There were several projects where, I would dig the foundations for a building and then hop in and hop on the dozer and do, the final grading of the slabs, hop on the crane and help set the steel, and then after the steel was set, go inside and work with the millwrights and the iron workers. Start to finish. Some people, I guess, you can connect the dots like in a straight line or whatever. I always feel like I'm more like, when you're a kid and you're doing one of those connected dots and you're making a figure, you know what I mean? It's like I'm going here, over here, up here, mostly just not being scared. Really. Just not being scared, and I've always been like that, even when I was a young kid. I remember a couple of times my mom getting mad at my uncle for having me do the things that I was doing out there on the track. I remember, my uncle's like, he'll be fine, leave him alone, you know what I mean?